Today we're going to be talking about the schwa. The schwa is a reduced vowel sound. It's not a vowel, it's a vowel sound. It's one of 18 to 20 vowel sounds in English, depending on your source. And it occurs in unstressed syllables. In English, every word has one syllable that's emphasized. The rest are reduced, and they have a schwa sound. Or some of them, they might have a real vowel sound, but they will be reduced. So only one syllable is said louder and longer. So one syllable is strong, the rest are weak or reduced, and they have a schwa sound. Or even if they have a real vowel sound, they will be reduced. The schwa, which sounds like this, and phonetically spelled with UH, is represented by this symbol. It looks like an upside down E. So if you look up a word in a dictionary, the syllables with a schwa sound will have this symbol. The schwa is one of the unique features in English pronunciation. Once you learn it and are able to apply it, your spoken English is going to change dramatically. And I want you to remember that word, dramatically. You'll understand why in a few minutes. Now let's learn about the concept of the schwa by using some examples. So the schwa is a reduced vowel sound. So it's not really a real vowel sound. It's a reduced or neutral sound. So it's a weak sound. So when I say that it's not a real vowel sound, it's not like a short A sound or a short O sound. Those are real vowel sounds. So they usually occur in stressed syllables or the syllables that we want to emphasize. The schwa occurs in unstressed syllables. So how do we make the schwa? So to make the schwa sound, keep your mouth neutral. That means keep it slightly open. You don't need to move your lips. You don't need to open your mouth, and you don't need to drop your jaw. So just keep it slightly open and then push the air out. Now let's look at some examples. Our first example is banana. Banana. Banana has 3 syllables. The first syllable has a schwa. The last syllable has a schwa. You can see it here. The first pronunciation key is showing you the symbols. So you have the upside down E here in our first syllable and also in the last syllable. Now I have another pronunciation key here that I'm showing you, and this one uses the phonetic spelling with UH, Same idea, it has the sound the weak neutral vowel sound, which we call the schwa. But same idea is banana. Banana. So even though we have 3 syllables, we only need to open the mouth one time, only for your stressed syllable, not for the neutral unstressed syllables. So the first syllable is weak, it has a schwa sound, The last syllable has a schwa sound also, n. So you keep your mouth neutral. Banana. You don't have to say banana. We don't need to make every syllable with the same strength. Only one syllable is strong, the rest are weak. Let's move on to our next example. So we have Alaska. Same idea. We have 3 syllables. There are 3 A's in the spelling. The middle A has a real vowel sound. So this one has a short A sound. So you open your mouth and you say this syllable clearly. So you say it a little bit louder and longer because that's your stressed syllable with a real vowel sound. Now the first syllable has a schwa sound. So you keep your mouth neutral. You don't have to open your mouth. You don't have to drop your jaw. Just keep it neutral, slightly open, and then push the air out. For your last syllable, you have a schwa sound also. So this one, you keep your mouth neutral. You make your K sound. So you have 3 syllables. Alaska. 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 So you open your mouth one time, only for the middle syllable, which is the stressed syllable. So you don't have to say Alaska, Alaska. You don't need to open your mouth 3 times. So you open it once and only for your stressed syllable. So same thing, the first pronunciation key shows you the symbols for the schwa, and the second pronunciation key is showing you UH, which is how we spell or the schwa phonetically. Let's look at our third example. Now this one is a little bit different from the first 2. So here we have 3 syllables, but the schwa is in the middle. So the first syllable has a real vowel sound. That's your stressed syllable. The middle vowel has a schwa sound, And then we have the last syllable has a real vowel sound, a long E, E. The letter Y has a long E sound. But since it's an unstressed syllable, it's going to sound a little bit weaker. So it's not going to be loud and clear. It's going to be a little bit quieter and also a little bit quicker. Li, li. So we have fam, then we have the in the middle, and then li, li. So fam, li. But this is a different example from the first 2 because here the schwa is so weak that it's removed. It disappears. So when you listen to native speakers, when they say this word with 3 syllables, you'll only hear 2. Family. Family. I think your family is great. So you don't hear native speakers say, I really like your family. You have a very nice family. So you don't hear 3 syllables. You hear 2 syllables because the middle syllable or the middle sound, which is the schwa, is removed. And there are other examples, other words with this type of pronunciation. So instead of hearing 3 syllables, if a word has 3 syllables, you'll hear 2, and that's because the schwa is so weak that it disappears and you don't hear it. Another example is chocolate. Chocolate. It has 3 syllables, but you're not going to hear native speakers say chocolate, 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 or chocolate. So that's a different type of pronunciation. So we don't have 3 syllables when we hear the word chocolate. You only hear 2. So you have your first syllable, which is your stressed syllable, with an ah sound, ah, short o, cha, chalk, and then your last syllable is with a schwa sound also. But the middle schwa is removed, so you only hear 2 syllables. Chocolate, chocolate. So instead of chocolate or chocolate or chocolate. The schwa can be represented by any of the vowel letters or a combination of vowels. Let's look at some more examples. Our first example is ability. Ability. Here we have 2 syllables with a schwa sound. The first syllable and the third syllable. The second syllable has a real vowel sound. That's our stressed syllable. It has a short I sound. E, be, be. The last syllable has a real vowel sound. It has a long E sound, but it's also reduced. So it's a little bit quicker. It's said a little bit quicker and a little bit quieter. And Here we have what we call a fast D sound. So the last syllable has a T. It's spelled with TY. But the T in this word, in the American accent, doesn't sound like a T. It has a fast D sound. So the T sounds like a D. And this is true in the American accent. There's going to be a separate lesson for all of the different T sounds in the American accent. So instead of saying ability with a T sound, in the American accent, you'll hear a very quick D sound. So it's that's your reduced vowel, your reduced first syllable, and then you have the third, L, and then D. So ability. Let's go to our next example. So here we have attention. So the first syllable has a schwa sound, and it's represented by a letter A. The last syllable also has a schwa sound, and it has an SH sound before the schwa. So we make the last syllable with an SH and then a schwa and then an N. Sh, shun, shun. So remember, you don't need to move your mouth when you make a reduced syllable, like this one, sh, shun, shun. Now in this word, the last schwa or the second schwa is represented by a vowel combination, I-O. So I-O after your SH sound, sh, has a schwa sound, shun, shun. So it's not attention. So you don't have to move your lips for your last syllable because it's reduced. It has a schwa sound. So the first one is also reduced. Attention. So even though we have 3 syllables here, you only open your mouth one time, and that's for your stressed syllable, which is in the middle. Attention. So it's not attention. You don't have to move your lips that much, only for your stressed syllable. Let's move on to our next example. Here we have a word with 4 syllables. Now this one is very similar to our example earlier, which was family. So family has 3 syllables, but you only hear 2. Here we have 4 syllables, but you'll only hear 3. And this is because the syllable or the vowel sound in our third syllable, which is a schwa, is reduced so much that you don't hear it. So in the third syllable, there is a K sound, k, which is represented by a letter C, and it's followed by a schwa. But the schwa is removed. So instead of saying basically, the vowel sound or the schwa after K is not heard. So this one is removed. So the first syllable has a real vowel sound. That's your stressed syllable. It has a long A sound. A, bay. So this one is said very clearly. And then you have your second, third, and fourth. So they're said a little bit quicker and a little bit quieter. Suckly. So basically. A very similar example, we have dramatically. You remember this word from earlier. I mentioned it, that it's going to come up again. So here we are. Very similar spelling or very similar pronunciation to basically. It ends with C-A-L-L-Y, but we don't have a vowel sound after the K sound. So there's no kali here. So it's not dramatically. It's not with a vowel. There's no vowel sound after your K sound. Also, this word has a fast D sound. So the letter T, over here we have T-I. So the T here doesn't have a T sound. It has a fast D sound in the American accent. So instead of saying dramatically, there's no T sound. It's a fast D sound. And then you make your stressed syllable over here. Very clearly, it has a short A sound, ma. Here you make a lot of effort, and then you make very little effort when you get to your unstressed syllables. So dra, ma, that's your stressed syllable, and then the fast D, declee. So dramatically. Now let's go to the next example that we have, and this one is comfortable. There are two ways, actually more than two ways to say this word. Sometimes you hear an R sound, comfortable, turble. So it has two reduced vowels, the last one and the second from last. Now, it's also very common to not hear an R sound in this word. So instead of turble, turble, there's no R sound, so it's just the reduced vowel, schwa, table. So the last two vowel sounds are reduced. Now, it looks like it has 4 syllables, but when you hear this word, you only hear 3 syllables. So the second syllable, which has OR, so it should be comfort. It's removed, so it's over here. Your schwa plus R, you don't hear the schwa plus R right here in the middle. So it's not comfortable. There's no or R sound, no schwa and R. It's not comfortable because this vowel over here plus R is removed. So it's skipped. So you only hear 3 syllables. Comf, which has a short U sound, and it's clear, it's emphasized, and then you have your 2 reduced syllables. So you have comfortable. I'm very comfortable. Are you comfortable? So it's not comfortable. Are you comfortable? So we don't have a vowel sound or a syllable after comf. So that one is removed because it's so weak. So you don't hear it. So it's not comfortable. Not in English pronunciation. So I just want to say this one more time, that if you say basically, dramatically, comfortable, if that's how you say it, that's not wrong. It's just a different type of pronunciation, and it's a different accent. So here we're talking about English pronunciation in the American accent.